And I'm just going to ask you whether or not, during the beginning parts of the examination, you noted the general physical condition, height and weight of Keith Caneiro.
Yeah, he's 67 inches tall, 201 pounds. The weight, appearance around 50 years old.
Okay. Now, did you also, I think you talked about clothing. Did you take note of the clothing that Mr. Caneiro had come to the medical examiner's office in?
Yes, indeed.
Could you talk about those items?
One is a black winter jacket with hoodies. There is a large amount of blood inside the hoodies, and also multiple gunshot-related holes around the hoodie area, and also there's a black sweatpants with the blood fluid on the back of left pants without any gunshot holes, and also there's one blue underwear. On the blue underwear, on the upper top of the underwear, there's a defect, which later on identified, which correlated gunshot wound at the lower back and upper buttock area. In that one, I didn't identify any muzzle imprint and gunpowder around that defect. Another one is a blue shirt, which transferred blood from the top of the t-shirt. And one is a pair of black socks without any blood stains, and one pair of black and white Nike brand shoes. It's possible is faint blood stain on the bottom of right shoe.
Now, you talked about the black hooded jacket that Mr. Caneiro was wearing at the time that you received him, correct?
Yes, indeed.
I just want to very quickly show you what's been marked as S-299 for identification. See the markings on the back of that? It's S-299.
Yes.
Okay. Do you recognize this jacket?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. And did you take note, as you just talked about, of any defects in a certain area within this jacket?
Yes, indeed.
And where was that generally?
Yeah, just the holes on the back of the hoodie area. Also, you are noticed in the right edge of that hoodies, there is a large defect.
Okay. Can I have the back table, please? Can I have slide 10, please? Doc, do you recognize that photo?
Yes, indeed.
And what does that photo show?
Like I mentioned before I start autopsy, the first thing I want to know what's happening. And this case, I was doing other autopsy during the daytime. I didn't went to the scene. But
Sorry, Doc, I just took it down briefly while you were talking.
The investigators went to the scene. So they took photos, reflect what's happening at the crime scene. So we can see, the person lying face down on the grass level. Also investigating report not far from the garage. It was found face down with gunshot wounds.
Okay. Now, Doc, just briefly, can I have slide 11? What are we looking at here specifically?
On the scene photo, actually, you can see that this green is grass. On the hoodie, the right side hoodies, you see a relatively large defect. And if,
Sorry, I don't want to leave it up too long. I know you're...
okay,
So, I also want to show you, because you talked about a defect in the underwear, is that correct?
correct.
Can I have slide 5, please? You recognize that photograph, Doc?
Yes, indeed.
And what are we looking at there?
It's look at the underwear put on the table. Look at on the back of the underwear. There is show the blood stain. More concentrate on the upper portion. There is a small defect.
Now, Doc, when we talk about defects, like the one on slide 5 in the underwear and the one that we just saw on the hood of the jacket, as part of your autopsy process, do you try to line up defects in clothing with injuries on a body?
Correct.
Okay, were you ultimately, I'm not going to ask you what that is yet, but were you able to do that at times during the autopsy?
Yes. In this, sometime I'm not 100% sure, but this case, yes.
Now, I want to ask you about the process you talked about, and I know you kind of described how you go about doing autopsies, but in this case in particular with respect to Mr. Keith Caneiro, were x-rays taken?
Yes.
Okay, and can I just, can I have slide 4? Before I ask you what that shows, can you just tell us, like, kind of when these are taken and what the purpose of them is?
This is X-ray. We took the X-rays from front to back. Before autopsy, yes, you can see multiple skull fractures on the in the head. With you see like 3 pieces, high density object inside. That is due to the fragment of the bullet.
Okay. You can go back. Now, when we talk about an external examination that you conducted upon Keith Caneiro, do you kind of give a summary of that on page 2 of S380, your report?
Summary, the which page?
External examination, page 2. Doc, do you see where I'm referring to?
No, I'm not. I'm not sure.
Okay, so the bottom of page 2, is there an area that says external examination?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, and part of that would include what you talked about with respect to Keith Caneiro's height and weight as well as his age, correct?
Correct.
And do you make any other observations about his hair, about anything that was found upon his face, or any other injuries at that point externally?
There was multiple gunshot wound around the head and face, and the face is covered with blood.
Okay. Now, in that photograph, the slide we looked at before, I believe it was slide 11, you saw grass, correct?
Yes.
And did you also see leaves?
Yes.
Okay, and did you see any evidence of that or any remnants of the ground upon Mr. Caneiro's face?
Yes. Actually, there's a dirt inside of on the surface until tongue, and the tea leaf on the left upper lip.
Is it a tree leaf?
The tree leaf, yeah.
Now, as we move on with your examination, do you note in your report, and did you note it at the time of the autopsy, approximately how many gunshot wounds were observed upon Mr. Caneiro?
There are multiple gunshot wounds, but 2 of them I consider 2 actual gunshot. I think it's a re-entrance wound, and one is 100% sure is a re-entrance wound. Another wound can be another shot. So my interpretation, so there are 5 gunshot wounds.
Okay. When you classify 5 gunshot wounds, does that include certain ones where there's entry, exit, and possible re-entry?
Correct.
Okay, so just to make that clear, I want to specifically refer you to the first gunshot that you classify, or the first area of gunshot that you classify in your report at page 3. Do you see that?
Page 3. Yes.
Okay, so you see that. Doc, when you talk about the fact that you numbered them 1 through 5 in your report, you did that, right?
Correct.
Now, do those numbers, do they relate, or are you making any opinions as to the chronology of those gunshots or the sequence of them?
No.
Okay. Is 1 through 5 for ease of explanation, so to speak?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when we talk about that first gunshot wound, could you tell us, can you tell us where it is and the actual wound track and that sort of thing?
Yes, this gunshot wound is in the left lower back on the junction with the left upper buttock, close on the left side, close to the vertebral bodies. There's an entrance wound. And there's also, on this wound, I didn't see third compound stitching or muscle imprints around the wound. And on the right abdomen, I see the exit wound. So the gunshot, through the, and another thing that I want to mention to you guys, when I mentioned the direction, the bullet travel, is based on the body is in anatomic position. I'm going to identify what is anatomic position. It's basically you stand still, you face forward, you palm forward, you both feet forward, called the standard anatomic position. Whatever I mentioned direction is based on that, not based on real when the body was shot. The body can move around. The direction also can be changed in certain degree. So, thank you. You want to me?
I'm sorry, Doc. So you talked about the gunshot wound number 1, correct?
Yes.
Where does it enter the body?
It's on the left lower back. It's like a left upper buttock sides.
Okay. And Doc, once that bullet enters the lower back area, where does it go?
You see on the left lower buttock area, so the immediately fractured called the sacrum bone is the middle bone on the pelvic area. The fracture that sacrum bone, then before in front of the sacrum bone is rectum. They perforated the bone, then perforate the rectum. Then the perforate the urinary bladder, and the travel from back to the front, left, right, and also had a little bit the upper version. So you see after perforate the urinary bladder, then they perforate different part of small intestine multiple times, then exit from right abdomen.
Okay, so it comes in the back and ultimately travels to the body, causing the injuries you described. Then it comes out of the abdomen, correct?
Correct.
Once it comes out of the abdomen, where does it go?
The exit wound kind of slid exit wound. So when they come out of exit wound, I identify I classify the re-entrance wound. They have a similar shape, slit exit wound on the palm, just beneath the thumb. Then exit on the back of the right hands.
Okay. Can I just briefly have slide 6? Doc, do you recognize that?
It's
Doctor, you have you have it in front of you too, if that helps.
It's an entrance wound.
Okay, is that the entrance room on the rear of the lower back of Mr. Caneiro?
Yes, indeed.
Now, can I have slide 7, please? Do you recognize what that shows?
This is the active wound I mentioned in here. I'm sorry, in here in the abdomen.
Okay.
And also I showed the reentrance wound on the palm surface. So I consider when they come out from here, the hands happen to be in front of the bodies. They reentrance from palm surface, then exit from the back of right hands.
Ronald, can we preserve that as 7.1? Thank you.
Sure.
And Doctor, on the bottom of the screen, once that you hear that printing, you can hit undo. Then can I have slide 8, please? Do you recognize what that shows?
Yes.
Okay, and what does that show?
Again, show when this wound is come out, and also show the show the exit wound on the back of right on the back of the hands.
So, Doctor, despite seeing marks of injury on the lower back, the right abdomen, the inside of the hand, and the outside of the hand,
Yeah.
Is it your expert opinion that this is one gunshot?
Yes, indeed. But certainly, if this case, this specific the gunshot is my opinion, but can be. I'm not 100% sure. There's no addition one shot through the hands.
Now, also on page 3 of your report, you talk about gunshot number 2, and that is in a different area, correct?
Correct.
Can you tell us what that second gunshot is?
The second gunshot wound is basically I use my body to demonstrate. Is the gunshot wound on the right lateral neck. The exit from the right medial neck, and the re-entrance wound from the right lateral face, and exit from the right cheek area.
Can I briefly have slide 13? Doc, does that photo assist with the identification of
Yes,
entry
indeed.
and exit?
Yes, indeed.
Can you see the entry and exit wounds on that photograph
Yes.
for gunshot 2?
Yeah.
You marked them with the...
Yeah, indeed. So we now look at the face from the right side. Look at the face. You can see entrance wound on the right neck. They exit from the right lateral medial side neck. Re-entrance in here. Then the bullet travel to here. So the bullet exit from the right cheek area.
Can we preserve that, please? 13.1.
13.1.
Now, can I have slide 18? Now, Doctor, do you recognize what slide 18 shows?
It's yes, indeed.
What is it?
It's the body diagram, which during the autopsy identify where's the injury, the location, the measurements.
Is that something that was created by you, all that writing?
Correct.
Now, with respect to that second gunshot, can you just identify via the diagram potentially where you noted the wounds associated with gunshot 2?
Yes.
And there's a pen there, Doctor, if you have a little stylus.
I'm sorry, my hand shake. I mean, that like entry down there is shot from there. The shot from right. Yeah.
Just put a number 2 under there somewhere.
Doctor, can you put the line
Oh,
back?
I'm
'Cause
sorry.
We're going to preserve that.
I'm sorry, I can
That's okay.
put there. Number 2 is in here. Gunshot 2. The entrance wound, I use arrow on the right lateral neck. Then direction is from here. Sorry. Language. It's not very sensitive, but anyway, I'm not going to line the line, just confused. You see from the right lateral neck, the exit are in the right cheekbone area.
18.1.
Thank you, Jim. Now, I want to move on to page 4 of your report. You talk about the third gunshot wound, correct?
Yes.
Can you explain where, can you undo that? Just hit that little undo button. That third gunshot wound, can you tell us where that was located?
Is this on the right lateral face? I use the dots. Oh, shit. Yeah, I use my fingers.
Sure.
Now I pinpoint my lateral face. There's a entrance wound on the right lateral face.
Doc, can we just preserve that, sir?
18.2.
I'm going to ask for slide 13 again. Doc, does that photograph assist in the identification of that?
Thank you. Yes. You can see on the right lateral face, slightly below the right ear. On the face, you can see there's a relatively large irregular abrasions on that wound. It's just upper, is in here. I'm sorry, now I can. That is number 3 entrance wound.
Okay, and we could preserve that. Where does that wound,
Slide 13.2.
Doctor, where does that wound ultimately exit, the third one?
So this wound is travel from right to the left, and also this wound also from the slightly upper angles and exit from the left side face.
Can I have slide 15, please? Doc, you could just hit undo on this one. Do you recognize what we're looking at here?
Yes.
What are we looking at?
This is, I just mentioned, the shot on the cheek, lower cheek area, the travel from right to left and from bottom to right side. We can see there is a irregular axis wound we call short axis wound. They are located on the left side face, just from the left lower ear. The reason called short spelling is H-O-R-E-D. The short means is the bullet when they perforate the body, when they exit, they tend to be push the skin out. So normally a typical axis wound, you can see the holes or lacerations. On the surface, you won't see any abrasions. But in this case, they have like abrasions around this axis wound. They can kind of mimic entrance wound. So what's happening is anything is blocked, the bullet come off the skin. The skin surface will be against that object that created abrasions. So this is called short exit wound.
Doc, you can take that down. Now, Doc, with respect to that third gunshot wound, the one that went in the right side of the face with the short exit wound to the left side of the face, did you evaluate that in conjunction with...
Slide 15.1.
We went too fast.
We need to go back, sorry.
Go back to 15
We didn't get it
first.
fast enough.
Sorry. Doc, could you just circle that wound again?
can print that 15.1.
Okay.
Once you hear the printer, then you can hit undo.
I can do it, right?
Yes, you can, Doctor.
Doctor, I was saying, did you evaluate that third gunshot injury, the one to the right side of the face, in conjunction with the black hooded sweatshirt or jacket that you described earlier, you saw earlier?
Yes.
Okay. Did you receive any information from the New Jersey State Police Trace Evidence Unit which helped you in making that conclusion?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, and ultimately, what was the determination that you made with respect to gunshot injury 3?
After received that information, I combined the scene investigation. Do you see when the body was lying on the ground with the larger holes on the right lateral hoodie area? And later on, that hoodies, when they sent to the police did a gunshot residue studies. Based on police report, that the large hole is, which later on I associated with the gunshot wound on the right lateral face. Based on the police study, they consider they have residues down. They consider either contact with the hoodies or or near contact with the hoodies when the fire shot. Then I reviewed my autopsy. You remember I just showed that wound. They have regular large abrasions around the entrance wound compared with others. I consider that irregular abrasion may be associated is muzzle imprints. When the gun against your face, you can create irregular abrasions. And also you remember I just showed the short exit, and during autopsy I see the leaves on the upper lip, the dirt on the tongue, and the body was face on the ground. And also I have information. There's initial information. There is a bullet identified on the ground just beneath the head area. So based on all those features, later on I issue a addendum report. I consider this person already lying on the ground. The fire shot is against or close to the right side face, then push body downward. So the face, left side face against the ground, and create abrasions. And when your face move forward to the ground, you create a compressed area on your left side face, and the dirt push you the contact with the tongue. The leaves had contact with the upper lip. So I consider when this shot fire is the person already lying ground, either dying or already dead. That shot, it's dying. Since I see abrasion, that means the person now dead. When you fire shot, you can see red abrasions.
Doctor, you referenced an addendum report, correct?
Yes, indeed.
Can I just for purposes of the record, can I just show you what's been marked as S381?
Yes.
Is that the addendum report that you discussed?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, thank you. Now, the fourth wound that's noted on page 4 of your report, can you tell us what you documented in that regard?
There is a gunshot wound on the right lateral back of the head. The entrance wound. Okay. And the exit wound is on the left side, frontal and the temple area.
Okay. Can I just have the back table, please? I'm going to go to S1H again. And can I have slide 14, please? Now, gunshot wound 4 that you describe in your report, can you tell us where that is?
Yes. Now we look at the body lying on the autopsy table. You notice there is one entrance wound just above right side ear. It's considered number 4 gunshot wound entrance side.
Can we preserve that, please?
14.1.
Then can we go to slide 16, please? And do you see anything on 16 with respect to the exit of that injury?
Yes,
Okay, where is that?
it's on the left, I just mentioned the frontal and the temple area. Above the left side ear, there is a exit wound.
Can we preserve that 16.1?
Then you can I have slide 15? Is that a closer up shot of that wound?
Yes, it's a close shot for entrance wound of gunshot wound 4.
Now, with respect to, I think when you described in your report on 4, you mentioned that there was a partial exit wound. Is that accurate?
In this wound, yes, it's a partial exit wound. Yes,
Okay.
there's a
What does that mean?
basically, we mentioned perforating gunshot wound is through and through the entrance wound, exit wound. This wound, they created exit wound, maybe partially bullet, exit from exit wound, but majority, and small, still, I don't know majority, still 3 fragments of the bullet, including 1 jacket, 2 core of the bullet, identified inside of skull and the head area.
Now, Doc, is it fair to say that that projectile perforated the scalp initially upon entry?
There's the pieces exit from exit wound.
Okay. Now, talking about the entry, does the projectile perforate the scalp, fracture the right inferior parietal bone?
Correct.
Okay. And then does it go through the right parietal lobe?
Yes, indeed.
To the left parietal
To
lobe?
the left side, yes.
And during the course of that, did it fracture the junction of the left parietal bone with the left frontal bone area?
Correct.
And then we have that partial exit, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and ultimately, as a result of that partial exit of the projectile or the portions thereof, did you recover portions of that bullet?
Yes.
Okay.
I remember I recovered 3 pieces.
Okay. Can I have slide 17, please? Do you recognize that?
Yes, you can see on the top is the yellow color, it's a jacket of bullet. There's a metal color or lead color is the core of the bullet. Certainly you can see the fragment of the bullet severely deformed.
Okay. Now, Doctor, ultimately, as a result of the recovery of those 3 portions of the bullet from the brain of Mr. Caneiro, was that provided to one of the detectives who was there from the prosecutor's office to assist with documentation of the autopsy?
Yes, indeed.
Now,
Can we preserve that 17.1?
now just going to, we can go back to those. I'm going to ask you about the 5th gunshot wound. Can you just undo that, Doctor? I'm sorry. Can you click the undo button? Thank you, sir. Now, the 5th gunshot wound, was that also documented in your report?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, and could you just indicate how you describe that 5th gunshot wound?
You just remember the 4th entrance wound on the right, lateral the head. And there's another entrance wound is above the previous mentioned number 4 entrance wound. There's a number 5 entrance wound on the right top of the head.
Can I have slide 14, please? Do you recognize the 5th entrance gunshot wound in that photograph?
Yes, indeed. We identify one entrance wound on the top of the head, slightly in front of number 4 entrance wound.
Okay, can we preserve that?
14.2.
Now, can you talk about where Doctor, can you talk about where that, once that bullet enters where you just circled, where's the bullet go?
The bullet fractured perforated the scalp, fractured the parietal right side parietal bone through the top of the brain, the exit from the left side parietal bone. Fractured left parietal bone, then exit from left top of the head.
Doctor, when you, I'm sorry.
Again, this remember the face number 2, number 3, number 4, and the number 5. They go through the same pathway from the right to left, from the back to front, and also with a slightly up version.
Okay. Doctor, that wound that we just talked about, number 5, the entrance wound, you talked about the path. You described the exit wound as being, in your report, as being a large, elongated exit wound. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. Can I just have slide 16, please? You recognize that large, elongated exit wound in slide 16?
Yes. You can see there's a large defect on the left top of the head,
Okay.
which is the front of left ear on the left anterior lateral of the head.
Can we preserve that, please?
16.2.
Doctor, you described somewhat before lunch and now five gunshot injuries sustained by Keith Caneiro, correct?
Correct.
Now, the first one we talked about was in the lower back area. That's where
Yes.
it entered, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then it exited through the abdomen and went through his hand and exited again, correct?
Yes.
Now, with respect to gunshot wounds 2, 3, 4, and 5, were any of those gunshot wounds below the shoulder area?
None of them.
They were all above the shoulder area?
You are right.
Now, I think at times, specifically gunshot wound 5, you noted bilateral, subdural, and subarachnoid hemorrhage in the brain?
Actually, number 4 I also noticed. The both lead to the subdural subarachnoid hemorrhage, brain lacerations, brain contusion. One push the brain, the bullet down there. The other part of brain tissues against the skull that created contusions. And also, I didn't describe after you can see through the X-ray, the top of the head become pieces. Just all the skull kind of when the bullet hit the skull, lost energy. You see the bullet break up, created temporary cavities, kind of small plastic injuries. So the head, top of the head, on X-ray you can see all become pieces.
Can I have slide 4? Is that the X-ray that you're referring to, Doctor?
Yes, you see the black gap is air. I mean, you can see the head is deformed on top of the head. And you see all the gap, it means each individual fracture bones down there.
Okay, good thing. Now, as a result of your autopsy process, both external and internal, and that which you've testified to already, did you determine whether or not, at the time of his death, Keith Caneiro was suffering from any natural diseases?
No.
Okay. Did you note something regarding coronary artery disease?
I identified that Keith has some heart conditions. We call coronary artery. They supply the blood and the nutrition to the heart.
Did that cause his death, Doctor?
No, in this case.
Okay. Now, I just want to ask you also, with respect to this autopsy, did you at some point take a DNA or a blood sample from Keith Caneiro during the autopsy?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, and was that provided to that same detective who took the projectiles?
Correct.
Okay, now with respect to toxicology panels, did you order those as well?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, and did you ultimately receive back toxicology results regarding Keith Caneiro?
Yes, indeed.
And ultimately, were those negative?
Let me double check.
Sure.
Yes, you are right.
Okay. Now, based upon your autopsy, and in light of your training and experience that you described previously, were you able to determine or opine as to a cause of death for Keith Caneiro?
Yes, indeed.
And what was that?
The cause of death is a multiple gunshot wounds.
Okay. And with respect to the manner of death, were you able to make any conclusions there from your autopsy?
Homicide.
Okay. And what does homicide actually mean?
That's one person kill another person.
Okay. Now, that cause and manner, those cause and manner opinions that you just talked about, are those based upon the performance of the autopsy, the things you saw in conjunction with your education, your training, and your experience?
And also including investigation.
Including investigation, because that's part of the process, correct?
Correct.
And that's why it was important for you to talk about what you saw photographically at the scene at 15 Willowbrook.
Correct.